But I mean, God, Ike Irish is sitting here. I would honestly love the Ike Irish pick. People are going to see catcher and freak out. Don't, please. Summerhill, I like a lot. Aloy is still there.
Well, and I like Irish too. And I would just point out to people who are going to freak out about catcher in the first round. This year has been a perfect reminder of why you need depth at catcher. The Orioles had a lot of depth coming into this season at catcher, and yet they burned through all of it. They've had to make multiple trades. And outside of Samuel Basayo and Creed Willems, perhaps, there's not a lot of high upside players at that position in the farm system right now. So if Ike Irish is going to be a catcher, that's not the worst possible outcome.
Yeah, it's interesting there too. I don't know what feed you guys are watching. I'm on, I hate to admit it, ESPN. Don't ask me why, but they have Ike Irish listed as a right fielder. So at least Kylie there has him listed as an outfielder first. No mention of catcher. Take that for what it's worth, though.
Probably a catcher the way Ethan Anderson is a catcher. Like, I mean, maybe he could do it, but you're not acquiring him because he's like a Adley Rutschman behind the plate, you know, defensively, whatever you have coming into that draft. Yeah, I would be pleasantly happy. There's a lot of very interesting names available at this pick here. So, you know, can't say it's not like last year where the options dried up right in front of us. I mean, Aloy is the guy I want, but there's plenty of other good options. I could see Cam Canarella maybe taking a shave to get some high schooler guys later. Yeah. Pick is in. So here we're close here to a potentially viral reaction to whatever happens.
So who wants to do the honors of announcing the pick when it comes in?
Let's let it be Nick. He's the one got the TV on. No spoilers.
Are you guys following the tracker?
I'm following the MLB Network feed.
I'm just on the MLB.com tracker. Yeah.
I got to see. Dude, I just love drafts, all of them. But like baseball specifically, it's just there's nothing like the MLB draft, man. It's
so much more fun because it's quick. Like it's not 20 to 30 minutes between picks, and you're going to spend your whole night. Yeah.
And no one has any idea what's going to happen. I mean, look at this year. Like, everybody mock draft. Everybody's like, I hate mock drafts, but they get clicks out.
Mm-hmm.
The you know what? Because people love actually mock drafts and seeing. And every draft, you're always like, within the first 5 picks, like, well, rip up the mock. It's done. This was after the first 2 picks. Here's the commissioner coming up. Ike Irish.
Good pick.
All right.
I like this pick.
All right.
Ike Irish, baby.
Let's go.
I like that pick a lot.
Get the tweet up.
Catcher. We have no catchers in this organization. Adley Rutschman's washed up.
All right. So before we fan any flames here on Orioles social media with the wars, what are your guys' thoughts about this pick right here? Because we've been talking about him as a player that could fall to the Orioles at number 19. He feels like a guy that could take a little bit of a cut here with this pick, and the Orioles would, in theory, have more money to work with as we get later into the first night of the draft. But I think this is a pretty good selection here.
Yeah, let me put out. This is the bad part about doing this live. Try to get all the tweets out here. All right, so I'm gonna pull out this first. So Ike Irish, catcher, outfielder out of Auburn, one of the more productive hitters in the entire country this spring. Here's some numbers. These numbers are all coming from Azad Earl's spreadsheet here. 114 mile per hour max EV, power hitter, 80% contact rate, 24% chase rate. While there is end zone whiff rate here, he makes contact versus velocity up in the zone and away from him, has been solid on breaking balls. The contact quality is an interesting case study because he has 60 grade power, but it's low launch angle. So it could be something that you build upon a little bit here. But Cape Cod League, max EV was 10 miles per hour lower than his max EV this spring. So he sent his max EV up 10 miles per hour from the Cape Cod League to spring ball here in college. Like, I don't know. I like this pick a lot, to be completely honest. Let me pull up his numbers here real quick.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a Vance Honeycutt for any or Jace Laviolette for anybody worrying about the swing and miss of a hitter here. He's got power. It kind of reminds me of Jordan Westberg when he was drafted. He was exit velocity, but not the launch angle you would typically want. And they were able to, I feel like, get him to a range where he's a 20+ home run power potential guy. If he's in the lineup every day, there's a bug in my office. Okay, at least it's not a bee. Yeah, I'm a fan of this pick a lot. Yeah, I think big upside, but also plenty of data to feel pretty confident in what they have here. Ike Irish. I like the name. It's an easy one. It's not. Maybe we can float Aloy down to 30. I doubt that, but now it gets very interesting because we're gonna see if the Orioles do take a pitcher in the next 3 picks or do take a high schooler. Did I buy you enough time, Nick?
No.
Right, so, yeah, as we talk about this, there are mixed scouting reports out there about Irish, where he's going to stick defensively long term. Is he going to stay behind the plate, or is he going to stick in the outfield because of the consensus, or is he going to end up in the outfield because the feeling is that the arm is good enough for an outfield corner, and that maybe the hit tool could be maximized out there a little bit, but at the same time, we know how difficult it is when you bring someone that can catch into the system to figure out how long you're going to try to develop them as a catcher. The Orioles are going through that right now with Ethan Anderson. He's catching every day at Aberdeen. He has struggled a little bit this year after not catching that much Virginia. I think that Irish's profile is a little bit different than what Anderson's was coming into the system, but there are some doubts out there about whether or not he can stick behind the plate.
Yeah, and even, I mean, if he does, obviously that's valuable, great, but it's not why they drafted him. It's just part of his positional flexibility, which honestly, if you're looking at what the Orioles have focused on a little bit over the past couple drafts, it is that. I mean, we saw it with Ryan Stafford, can play all over Ethan Anderson. Yeah, so wherever you can get his bat in the lineup, it's going to be in there. It's going to hit.
That's a good point on both of those guys. He has a better hit tool coming into the system than Stafford or Anderson did.
And I'm just looking at Baseball Prospectus. They say he achieved a 364, 469 on base, 710 slugging in the Cape Cod by blending adequate contact and chase metrics with consistently tapping into his above average exit velocities, running a hard hit rate over 60%. So that's a good quote.
All right. My official thoughts here. I love this Ike Irish pick. Absolutely love it. This is a guy who's getting talked about as a potential pick at number 3 to the Mariners. He was catcher, and he's got questions behind the plate. I think like receiving and blocking specifically were 2 things that had major question marks about. And the arm was the true weapon. The arm strength is not an issue, which is why he transitioned so well to the outfield. But it was the other skills behind the plate that needed some work. I think he got hurt this year, early on in the year, missed a little bit of time, comes back. There's the Brewers ruining our next pick with Andrew Fisher.
Yeah.
But he came back from his injury, and I don't think he was even fully back, but healthy enough to return to the field. But they didn't want him to catch. And so they put him out in right field. And dude was making, I can't remember which series I watched him. I think it was against Georgia. But dude's out there immediately off injury, making really great plays, showing off the speed out there in right field, making good plays at the wall, at the warning track, showed good awareness out there. He transitioned very well. He's got the cannon for an arm that's going to play well out there in right field. I think that's where you're going to see him out in right field. I don't know how much you're going to see him out in left field because, I mean, he's got catcher. He's like an athletic catcher speed. Baseball America has him 45 speed grade there. But yeah, I thought when you're talking about bats, like Ike Irish is one of the top college bats in this class. And his numbers this year at Auburn, he had 19 home runs, 13 doubles, a 13% walk rate with a 14% strikeout rate. Hit 364, 152 WRC plus. Just fantastic year. I'm trying to see what he did on the Cape too. Because I think he had a really good year on the Cape Cod League last summer as well. All my tabs and trying to get this to load is not working. Yeah, Cape Cod League last year hit 325 on the Cape with an 871 OPS, 20 walks, 35 strikeouts, a couple of home runs, but the bat to ball, the hit tool, it's there. And you look at the grades, Baseball America, 55 hit, 55 power, 65 arm. Yeah, solid pick here.
Well,
It's
and this
not
has
Chase
been
Laviolette. We don't have to have that conversation.
well. That's about where I was about the point I was about to bring up here, which is that this is not a pick that is reflective of some recent criticism of the Orioles. This is not a Vance Honeycutt pick where you have to question hit tool, and it feels like if you want to go back, although it's honestly comparing apples to oranges, if that. Go back to Enrique Bradfield a couple of years ago. I think there was a lot more certainty about Irish's hit tool than there was about Bradfield's. So in that respect, it does kind of break the mold of the type of players that the Orioles have targeted with at least their last few first picks. I will bring this up, though, which is that what's the temptation here to develop him positionally? Because when you bring someone in who can catch, and they've caught at the college level, especially at a major program like Auburn, you want to try to keep them behind the plate. But everything in his profile suggests that if you stick him in right field, you let the arm strength do its thing, and the bat continues to develop, maybe he starts it for a little bit more power, that he could be a guy that moves quickly. So maybe this makes up for the fact that Ethan Conrad didn't fall to this pick. So do you stick Irish behind the plate for at least a little while to see if he can catch at the higher levels, or do you think about moving him to the outfield immediately?
Two things. First of all, to Bill Evans' comment there in the chat, so is the comp for Irish a more athletic Kyle Schwarber? I have seen others say that coming into the draft, that there is a Kyle Schwarber-esque comp here with Irish. And Enrique Bradfield Jr. just quote tweeted our tweet and said banger. So if you don't like the pick, you can take that up with Enrique Bradfield Jr. Himself. But my gut reaction here 5 minutes after the pick happened is, the Orioles are going to put him behind the plate a little bit. But honestly, my gut would say, don't put him behind the plate. Stick him in the outfield. Let that bat shine. Let the bat play. Let the arm play out there. And you can get him through the system probably fairly quickly. As long as he hits from the jump,